field.
Every product we develop is really inspired by some of the real life experience that we have with our son.
60% of all toys last year were sold on Amazon, which is incredible.
Be passionate about it because it's a road, it's a journey.
Like when you have an idea that you think is like gonna somewhat like change the world, make things better, I'd say go for it.
We'll guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Toy Business Unboxed podcast. I'm your host, Jason Shea. Today, we're joined by Alex, a game designer, a producer, and co-founder of Lethal Chicken Games. His journey has been have a lot of experience in the toys and game industry, and I will let him speak about his own background. So thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today, Alex.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
So, well, that's kind of for our audience that wasn't aware of you and your company. Can you kind of share your journey so far and how do you even got into this crazy industry to begin with?
Of course, yeah. So, my background is actually video production, and back in towards the end of 2017, I was living in Florida, and there was a hurricane, Hurricane Irma, and it just unleashed a whole bunch of damage down in Fort Myers. And I was living in Orlando, and so I went down to go help with volunteer cleanup.
Yeah,
and a neighbor of mine, he was down there, and I knew him, but not super well. And we ended up sharing a tent one night after cleaning up all day, and I was talking about this script that I had written, and he said, I could turn that into a board game. And I said, like Candyland? And he was like, no, not like Candyland, like a fun party game.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So we kind of like talked through it. And by the end of the night, we had fleshed out what the film. And that was our first game. And so when we got back to Orlando, we're just like, should we like really do this? And we're like, sure. So we put it through and put it onto like we finished kind of the production on it. I knew nothing about games, and it's a party game, and I was like, oh, we need like cool artwork for all these cards. It was like 400 cards, and so like it's a big game, and so it's like it's not huge, but it's super heavy, like it's just laden with cards.
Yeah.
And so we put artwork on 200 out of the 400 cards, and we ended up putting it on Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
And it funded on Kickstarter, and about a week into its run on Kickstarter, someone asked me, we were at like a board game convention for developers, and we were working on our next board game, one called Camping with Sasquatch, while we were kind of waiting for the Kickstarter to run its course. And someone asked me at this convention, he said, what are you going to do with the film after it's done on Kickstarter? And very naively, I said, well, I'm going to go get it into Target, of course. And he just laughed at me. He was just like, ha ha ha, it doesn't work like that. You don't just go get your first game at Target. They're never going to pick it up. And I remember he said, and this was like 2018 at this point, he was like, he's like, I work for JVC and we invented the VCR. And I'm not sure why he was like still touting the VCR in 2018, but I was like, okay. And he goes, it takes us a year to get a meeting at Target. He's like, you'll never get a meeting with them. So in my head, I was just like, challenge accepted. We'll see about that. And so that night I went home, I jumped on LinkedIn. I was like, buyers at Target. And I just started looking for anybody that bought anything at Target, and I started running into like the yogurt buyer, and I was like, I see you buy the yogurt at Target. Game send, and then I was like, I see you buy the lingerie at Target. Do you know who buys the games?
Do you buy games? Okay.
And I went through probably about 30 people before I finally stumbled across someone that bought toys and games, and I sent him a message, and I was like, we've got a game on Kickstarter. I think it's perfect for Target. Here's the link. It's already funded. Please check it out. And he messaged me back, and he was just like, I don't buy the toys and games. He's like, but I'll connect you with my buyer who does. It looks great. And
okay.
And so that kind of like started it. We jumped on the phone with her the next day, and she was like, do you want to come out and show me the game? I was like, sure. So 2 weeks later, we flew out to Minneapolis.
Whoa, okay.
Showed her the game, and they picked it up on the spot. So we were on Kickstarter in February, and by July, we were on the shelves of Target. Like it was
That's an
that fast.
insane journey. No
It
one
was
does that in the industry, you know. You're
it
the
was
first
so
one that do that in the industry.
yeah, it
Which
was
is
so
crazy.
crazy. Like, and I know now that that
Yeah.
doesn't normally happen like that. Um,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that
yeah,
was a bit of an anomaly, but that was
yeah.
kind of our introduction into the industry, and especially mine
Mhm.
into games. I didn't play a ton of games growing up. It was mine was the typical kind of like Monopoly. We had maybe a half dozen games or so growing up, and they were just kind of the general basic ones.
Yeah, and I know you're also working on a bigger project right now. I don't know how much of that you're privy to share with your potential partnership with Play Monster. So,
Yeah, so Play Monster recently picked up Trash Dice and Dumpster
mhm,
Dice, which are kind of
mhm.
like our two bigger selling games right
Yeah,
now. And so actually while we're at New York Toy Fair just a month ago,
yes.
we met with them, and we had come up with this idea that like it was literally 2 days before I left for New York. We come up
Mm.
with this idea for a new game, and so the day before our meeting with Play Monster, I called my business partner who wasn't able to make it to Toy Fair, and I was like, should I pitch him this new game? It's not really fully baked, and I had cranked out a couple cards right before I had left, and he's like, yeah, just so we'll see how the meeting goes, and then just if you feel like it, just pitch it. And I was like, all right. So
Mhm.
we pitched this game, and um or I pitched the game to Play Monster, and they picked it up on the spot. So
Oh,
I was
okay,
like,
okay,
"Yeah,
okay, okay.
we gotta fine
Yeah,
tune it." So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. In fact, right after this, I've got a call with them hopefully it's signing the contract today. So
Mhm.
we'll see.
I see. Well, good luck, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's going to be a very big deal for you as well.
Yep.
So, well, looking in 2026 and beyond, like what are some of the new project or new product you're currently working on?
So we've got one of them is this game called Monster Hands. This is one of our new ones for this year, and
Okay.
we always try and like to do different kind of gimmicky packaging and like something innovative that hopefully you haven't seen before, you haven't seen very often at least,
Hmm.
and it makes you want to kind of like pick it up and either play with it or do the gimmick or whatever it is. So play
Hmm.
this one, Monster Hands. It actually, we didn't put the logo on the front or on the front of the box basically, and
Okay.
but if you look through the little eye hole there, the front door, you can
Oh, okay.
see inside. There's the logo. I don't know how well this is going to pick up.
Oh, that's a logo inside. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so
okay. I
there's the
see.
logo. It
I
says
see.
Monster Hands, and
Oh,
it works.
okay,
Let's see, it
okay.
works a little better on it if I can get
Yeah.
a white background on it. But oh, there we go.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
There's the
okay.
Monster
I see.
Hands.
Oh, okay, that's a very interesting way to design the packaging. Yeah.
And
So,
so,
mhm,
but yeah, so this one's new for 26. It's a card game. It's got a couple of handful of dice in it, and
mhm,
so yeah, just like a fun card and dice game. And then we've got a couple others. This one that Play Monsters working on. Um, they've yeah, I'm not sure how this is all going to play out or what their timing is going to be on it. I would imagine it might actually be for 27,
mm,
and um so yeah, so we've got a handful of irons in the fire
yeah,
that we're working on. We've still got we've got four that we kind of launched last year, but I mean, you know how launches go with toys and games. It's like,
yeah,
you may have it finished, but then, the buy is for like 12 to even 18 months out. And
yeah.
so we've got uh, Dice Batter and let's see. So this is still one of my favorites. So this one we launched last year. It's called Dice Batter, and
Oh, okay.
it's a dice game. It comes with like a little metal pot and
Hmm.
this wooden spoon that's also pen, and you can stir the dice, and
Oh, okay. That's
it's really
pretty
funny.
innovative.
It's a cute game,
Yeah.
and so that one, I know we've got a company we're working with called East River Toys, and they've kind
Mhm.
of become our one of our partners slash manufacturers for we've got 5 games with them. So we've got
Mm,
What the Film, Dice Batter, Little Pig, um,
I see.
Monster Hands, this one, and then Tortilla Takedown. And this is the other like gimmicky one that I love, where
Oh,
it's a
okay,
Lucha
okay,
Libre themed game,
nice.
and
Okay.
but all the wrestlers are Mexican foods.
Hmm.
So
Okay, okay.
this one, like,
I
it's got the
see.
folding chair, and you can take the chair and like slap
Oh,
the
okay,
taco. And
okay.
if you notice, like his face actually changes too when he gets slapped in the face.
Oh, yeah. Okay, okay,
Knocks
okay.
out one of his
Very,
teeth.
yeah.
And anyway, I
Oh,
think it's
very
personally,
interesting. Okay. I
but
see. I
yeah, so
see.
that's
Yeah, but congratulations on
so
all
yeah.
the success so far. And it sounds like you are really good at pitch,
Yeah,
pitching your product. Well,
it's
when
been a
you're
long
pitching the
time.
product to like bigger publisher or bigger company, what do you usually focusing on in your pitch?
When we pitch a publisher, what do we focus on? I would say, and we generally we just try and focus on the gameplay, and
Okay, okay.
really, like, if we can get them to play the game, that's, that almost always makes a world of difference. If we try
Mm.
and explain it to him, like we just did a pitch to play Monster where we tried to explain it to him, and he was just like, "Well, it's a little confusing," and so
Oh, they don't get it. Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it's not like it's not
Yeah.
confusing. It's just
They
either
just
we
need to
did a
play
bad
it.
job of
Yeah,
explaining it, or
yeah,
so even on the most recent pitch with them, I asked them, I was just like, "Send me your address. I'll send you 6 dice," and
yeah,
we wanted to just send them these six kind of like customized dice that we had done so that they could
yeah,
play it along with us, and I think
yeah.
that helps a lot. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's definitely a very key when you're pitching product. But besides pitching just to bigger publishers, you also self-publish some of the game too, right?
yeah, so we've definitely kind of gone back and forth on self-publishing. So
Mhm.
our first one we self-published, our first two we self-published,
Okay.
and which was What the Film and Camping with Sasquatch. And then we had a company come along that was trying to get into the game space, and they're like, they really liked Camping with Sasquatch. It fit in with their branding, and they asked
Mhm.
if they could buy the game off of us.
Mhm.
And so we said yes, and we kind of struggled at that point with like, are we going to keep doing the self-publishing? We had
Mm.
lost our space at Target for What the
Oh,
Film, and
I
so
see.
that was super detrimental as far as our
Oh,
inventory, because we had a ton of inventory left
I see.
over. And like, I feel like we've had a lot of really great successes, and we've also made
What
a
was the
mistake.
main reason that Target decided to no longer carry that on the shelf?
So I think so there were a handful of, it was a bit of a perfect storm that went into that, where
Oh,
they we only had a limited number of stock to be able to get it onto the shelves in July,
yeah. Okay.
and as fast as it did. And so
Yeah.
we actually had to repack everything into a 4 pack. And
Oh,
so then they
okay.
were only ordering 4 units per store, which I feel like it was kind of getting either lost in the shuffle, it didn't make it onto the shelves, or was constantly out of stock.
Hmm.
And so I just remember like that first holiday that we were on the shelves, like I would constantly, like every day, I would check the top 20 markets just to
Hmm.
see what their inventory levels were, and make sure that it was in stock and see if it was
Yeah.
selling. And
Mhm.
I just kind of like, I did my own tracking because I was curious to see how it was doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was 60% of the time it was unavailable in the stores.
Oh, man.
And
Okay.
so I feel like we maybe got a bit of an unfair shake in that regard. Like they weren't keeping
Mhm.
it in stock, it wasn't
Yeah.
available, or it wasn't, you couldn't find it. Like I would go into
Couldn't
our
find it.
local
Yeah.
Targets, and they would
Yeah.
have it, but you couldn't find it. And
You couldn't find it.
it
Oh,
was
man.
either in the back stock,
Yeah.
or like it never got put out. And
Yeah.
so
I see.
and it's not to 100% blame Target. There's certainly, our own blame in this as well. They had asked if we
Mm,
had a marketing budget, and we had said, yes, we do, which we
mm.
did. It just wasn't Target level marketing budget. And,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so we just didn't have the money to spend on marketing as I'm sure it needed and they wanted. And so,
Okay, okay.
you
Well,
know,
it's a
I,
good lesson learned. So,
a
yeah.
combination of many things. It was,
Hmm.
is definitely a lesson learned on so many levels. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, well, and also you are extremely fast on getting into the target like no one else. So
yeah,
maybe I think the business is a little bit just like you say, you don't have enough inventory to even get handle
Yeah,
that kind of volume. So
yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
yeah, that's
So,
always kind of tricky. So, and besides, obviously, getting into Target is definitely a major milestone. Inside your kind of business strategy, do you also focusing on getting more license as well? Like, do you want to create some like product for licensing characters as well? Is that part of the plan?
so we've kind of toyed with that. We haven't ever really delved into that yet.
Oh, okay, okay.
I love creating new IPs, which I
Mhm.
know is very difficult and it's very challenging, but I
Yeah.
love having those characters that we've created that are kind of our own creations and just to kind of
Oh,
like
the other way around. You want to
there
have
you
your own
go.
IP instead of
Yeah,
getting IP from
exactly. So
others.
like
Okay.
like Tortilla Takedown, for example, when
Mhm.
we did this one, we created these characters with the idea of like, where else can this go, right? Like,
Mhm.
could this be a Netflix series? Could this be a line of comic books?
Mhm. Mhm.
That sort of thing. And so we try and create things, where that's the case. We have another one called What's Under Your Bed, and
Okay.
I don't have it in front of me, but we've got this is I've got stickers on my cup, and it's got characters that are made out of things that you might find under your bed. So it's
Okay, okay, okay.
made out of
I
like it's
see.
rib cages, shoelaces, right? Like,
Yeah, it's like a Frankenstein almost.
yeah, yeah, or a little Franken bear. And then
Yeah.
we've got this is like the dust bunny right here, and
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
it's made out of dust and an Easter egg and
I
socks,
see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that. So, again,
Mhm.
like this is another item that, like we would love for this to be like a a maze at Halloween Horror Nights, right? Like, we try and
Mhm.
think, where all could this go? Like, you walk into an HHN maze and you go in and you're under the bed and you see these, monsters jump out at you, that sort of thing. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, so anyway, we're always we try and kind of like come up with the characters and the IPs is because we really enjoy doing that side of it.
Mhm.
Would we be open to creating a game that's an IP? Absolutely.
Mhm.
One of our newest games that we're working on, I feel like the mechanic's strong enough where, it could kind of transcend into our own, from our own IP to other IPs that would also
Mm.
fit that mechanic. So
I see, I
that's
see.
definitely
Wow.
like one of the angles that we're gonna pitch, actually to Play Monster here in the next 20 minutes. So
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it. So, well, for the sake of time, I want to kind of be respectful for your next meeting as well. But as we wrap up, if you have to share just one piece of advice with someone else that's getting started in the toys and game industry, what would that be?
run in the opposite direction and go find something else to do.
Okay.
It's so slow. Like I guess
Yeah.
I guess just be patient, right? Like
Yeah.
I mean, for some, success comes very quickly, and I feel like
Mm,
we saw that at the beginning, but it certainly wasn't enough to sustain. And we've had many conversations where
mm,
we've thought, do we really want to keep going with this?
yeah.
It started as a side hustle. It almost died as a side hustle. It's now our
Mhm,
full-time jobs,
yeah.
and even with it being our full-time jobs, we've still, you know, we're still like, well, maybe I should look for a real job. Like, so that's probably not very, I don't know, maybe that is good advice to tell people to do something else. But I mean, I would say, like just be patient. I remember sitting at we were at the Taggy Awards and the CEO of Hasbro was talking about, he said, I'm
Mhm,
gonna go over some common questions that people in the toy and game industry have. And one of
mhm,
the questions that he went over, he goes, why does it take so darn long? And
mhm, mhm.
and he talked about how like the life cycle of getting a product onto the shelves and how
Yeah.
it's years and
Yeah.
even like Little Pig, like it's a game that we're selling this year for next year that we created 2 years ago.
Mhm, mhm.
And it
Yeah.
just even though we could create something, like our latest one that we did for Play Monster, where we created it, we pitched it, and they picked it up all within the span of a week.
Mhm.
um Even something that fast, ultimately, like the process is still, it's probably still going to drag out for another year. So just
Yeah.
be patient, I guess. If this is something
Mhm,
that you really really want to do, be
mhm.
patient, know that it does take a while, even I'm not a hurry up and wait kind of person. Like I like
Yeah.
to get things going and get it moving and get it done,
Yeah.
as quickly as possible. And so it can be very frustrating for people like that, like me.
Mm.
And so just be patient and just know that, it does take a while. You can move quickly on things, but ultimately at the end of the day, like there are a lot of steps and things that go into getting a product on the shelf.
100%. Yeah. You need to treat it like a real business. So in
Yeah,
order to become a real business,
that's right.
obviously. And
Yeah,
in
that's
real
right.
business does take time.
Yeah.
So for our audience that is want to follow your journey and kind of look at all the wonderful product you have created, where is the best place for people to find you online?
So we've got our products obviously at like Amazon.com, which that would be the last place I would recommend people going. We've got Walmart.com, but really like to um honestly, the thing that helps, I think, small businesses the most is to go directly to their website and buy directly at like lethalchickengames.com, or we've got
Mhm.
games at Big Discoveries, so that would be bigdiscoveries.com.
Mhm.
And to go direct through the or through the company first.
Mhm.
And but I mean, that's not to say like I buy from Amazon all the time myself, even
Yeah.
though it's not my
Yeah.
it's always my first choice, but a lot of times it's the easy choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I get it. I'm certainly not. I don't. I don't have a very big soapbox I can stand on.
Yeah, of course,
Because,
yeah. But I'll make sure I put that all in the show notes so people can find either way. So
but yeah,
yeah,
lethalchickengames.com,
yeah,
Amazon.com, Walmart.com.
I
The
see. Okay, well, and thank you so much for your time today. I know it's very short because you have another meeting right after
Yeah,
this.
got it
So
short. But
yeah.
thank you so much for having me on. I've very much enjoyed being a part of this.
Of course. And thank you for our audience for tuning into this episode of Toy Business Unboxed podcast. I hope today's conversation give you some practical insight and inspiration for growing your own toys or game brand. This podcast is proudly sponsored by Toy Launch, a leading marketing and growth partner for toys and game company. At Toy Launch, we help brands scale on Amazon and beyond through full service account management, advertising, SEO, creative, catalog optimization, influencer marketing, and more. If you're looking for a proven team that understands both the toys and game industry and e-commerce marketing inside and out, we're here to help. If you like a personal breakdown of your brand, your opportunity, and your best next move, you can schedule a free consultation session with us. Just visit toy-launch.com/schedule. If you want to connect with other toys and game founders, feel free to join our free communities, Toys and Game Launchpad, that we recently launched. You can find more information about that on our website as well. For more resource update and industry insight, visit us anytime at toy-launch.com. Until next time, keep innovating, keep creating, keep bringing joys to toys. This is Jason Shea signing off on the Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, everyone.